And as we continue our conversations here at the 2025 National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention in Kansas City, Missouri, let's talk with the Cattlemen's Beef Board. Joining us, she is Vice Chair for CBB. Cheryl DeVuyst is with us here today. Cheryl, it's great to talk with you. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
You bet. You bet. Well, some exciting things we want to talk about in terms of work that Checkoff is doing and more. And I think a good spot for us to start this conversation is just beef demand in general. And there's a lot of conversations out there about demand on the consumer side, and the rise of things like these GLP-1 medications and the need for protein, and just the appetite out there for protein here in the U.S. And I know that's a big area of focus for research with the Cattlemen's Beef Board and Morris. I mean, your perspective on just overall beef demand and that conversation right now, Cheryl.
Well, one thing I want to start with is that consumers still demand our product. They're showing us that they are willing to pay more for our great beef that our producers have on the market. Mm-hmm. It's a highly nutrient-dense product. So those people who are on GLP-1 type medications, while you may think that they're eating less, well, they might be, but they still need nutrient-dense products. So a high-protein, really healthy product of beef really fits well into a GLP-1 protocol for those people. And with some of the research that has happened, it shows that it's making a difference, because recently a meta-analysis that was done showed that the unprocessed natural beef products that we have out there are very good for human health.
And I think about this as well, and you mentioned the research, and I know that the Checkoff works with a lot of independent researchers on these types of things. I talked to Glenn Tonsor monthly about his meat demand monitor, all the work he does at K-State and more. And so it's important to also emphasize just that a lot of this, a lot of these statistics and this data, it's coming from independent folks, that are helping support all of these ideas at looking at that high quality demand out there for U.S. beef.
Yes, it is. And I think sometimes people do not understand. The contractors actually work with subcontractors. Mm-hmm. So you may see that National Cattlemen's Beef Association is a contractor, but they actually subcontract with universities to have the non-biased research being done outside of the checkoff. So those people are doing the nuts and bolts research on the food safety, on the sustainability, on just nutrition aspects for human health and other areas that are coming from experts that are outside of the beef industry to really be able to say, this is unbiased. We are showing the truth here, and our beef producers should feel really good about knowing that their dollars are going into that to help prove that we have a great product and it helps increase beef demand.
And I know as well that a big focus of the Checkoff here recently has been connecting with younger consumers, connecting with the younger moms that are out there, and providing, different things for recipes and education. I know you're an educator yourself. Like, it's part of, I know the work you guys have been doing has been that education piece as well, surrounding high quality beef and just the demand that is out there, and trying to offer new ways for folks to consume beef here in the U.S.
One of the contractors, the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture, they actually get into classrooms in urban areas, so highly populated areas where a lot of these youth have no idea about where their food comes from. and they're getting with those science educators in classrooms to learn about genetics or sustainability. And it's all coming from a beef perspective, and that's making a difference for our younger generations in learning the truth about agriculture, about beef production. And then they can even take that home to their parents and help make a difference on what's on their dinner plates. And another area that has been part of working with youth is the Little League.
Yeah.
So we did have a group that went out and helped to serve meals to Little League World Series participants and get some great information and great food in front of them.
A lot of exciting things going on with the Beef Checkoff. Final thoughts here as we close out our conversation, Cheryl. What else is on the horizon? What are you looking forward to as we roll into a new year coming up? Hard to believe 2026 right around the corner. What else is on the horizon for you and the Beef Checkoff as a whole?
Well, it's always interesting to me to see what is new out there with our export markets. Our partnership with our contractor in the United States Meat Export Federation, they have boots on the ground in these countries where they're able to pivot. When we have something happen and maybe a market is closed down for a while, they are great at coming up with a new strategy and pivoting. And that is making sure that we are getting the most out of each of our beef animals in being able to sell products in those countries where we actually don't eat as many, maybe tongues, tripe, things like that, but other countries love those. And also, we have our 40th anniversary of the Beef Checkoff coming up. So we are looking forward to that.
Well, we appreciate the conversation. Vice Chair with the Cattlemen's Beef Board, Cheryl DeVuyst, thanks for joining us here at the NAFB Convention. We'll look forward to talking again in the future.
Thank you, Jesse.